guys, welcome. We are going to be making this adorable bag from Parker on the Porch. This is the Honeycomb 2.0 front zip bag. This is what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. It is fully lined. There's no exposed seams or edges. So, and then this one is the size 5 zipper that I use, but she also is relacing the size 3 at the same time, so you can pick whichever zipper size you prefer. And I'm gonna go ahead, this is the 6x10 size, so you need to get your hoop. I am using cutaway, so you need 1 sheet of cutaway and your hoop. If you want to use tearaway, you can do that, but just know the tearaway stays inside your bag. Okay, I used this dimple vinyl from PUNKBROIDERY. It's called White Grape Dimples from PUNKBROIDERY.com. She has lots of different colors in this line. That's what I am using right here. This, I'm not sure where I got this. This is gonna be, I think I got it in like an Emma and Mila stacks. Is kind of one of these stacks. It's not this one, but it was another one. I don't remember which one it is, and I didn't have very much left, so I don't know what this is, but it was one of those Emma and Mia stacks. Okay, so you're gonna need that as well, whatever fabric you're using. Okay, so let's get started. Go ahead and put your stabilizer on your hoop, and I will meet you over at the machine. Okay guys, I'm on my machine. I have my 1 sheet of cutaway. You can use tearaway if you like, but remember the stabilizer stays inside your bag. So I use cutaway. And then I have the Parker on the Porch Honeycomb 2.0 bag loaded. This is a front zip bag. So I have it loaded. Our first step is to go ahead and stitch the placement stitches directly on your stabilizer. So I'm gonna go ahead and run step 1. I will come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what that first step looks like right there. It went ahead and did your placement stitches on there. Now we are going to go ahead and do step 2, which is to place the zipper on here. And you can see that you have these three right here, these 3 lines right here. The center line is where your zipper teeth should line up. Now this is the number 5 zipper. The number 3 zipper also is relacing at the same time. I'm going to tell you for a couple seconds what the difference is. This is a number 5 zipper. It all has to do with the width. This is a number 3 zipper. You can see the difference right here. There's a difference in the width. Okay, so, and then number 3 zippers come with the pull on already and a stopper over here. So these are number 3 zippers. I get my number 3 zippers on ZIPIT zippers on Etsy, okay? And then this is number 5 zipper, and I just buy the tape by the yard, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to use this one. I buy my zipper tape, most of it from My Handmade Space on Etsy as well. So you just go ahead and make sure you have a long enough piece that can get by both your placements. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and cut. Okay, and then I take a lighter and I just singe it because it frays. It's easier to get the zipper pull on. See how it's fraying? It doesn't matter because it gets cut off later, but it's harder to get the zipper pull on. Okay, so then you're going to pull it apart like this. I do it upside down like this. Okay, I'm going to use this zipper pull right here, this flower. Okay. So I go, and I got this at My Handmade Space on Etsy as well. So I do everything upside down. So it's like this. The zipper front is towards me. These are upside down, okay? And then I just put this at an angle, just a little bit. You just want it barely on there. And I put this side at an angle. So they're both angled within there. And then I push it and I pull. And that is how you thread your zipper right there. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and put it in where it needs to go. If you want the front of the bag's facing me, if you want your zipper to pull from this side, you're going to have it lined up like this. If you want it to come from the other side, you just flip it to this side. Okay, so that is a personal preference. Now I usually just line up along this bottom right here. Just like that. You want to show, and I'll tape it and then I'll show close up, but you just want to see a little bit of this bottom all the way across, and then you know that you're set to go. So I'm going to just go ahead and tape this, and then I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see it a little closer where I'm placing it. And then I'm just going to tape this. Make sure it looks good all the way across. Okay, a little more tape up here. Okay, the next step is going to go ahead and stitch right here on the underneath. It's going to jump your zipper teeth and it's going to stitch along the top. So you can see right here, you can just see a little bit of this line down here. You don't want to be over it. You don't want to be under it. You just want to be able to see it. You're lined up right next to it. If you do that all the way across and then tape it, you know that you're set to go. So I'm going to go back to my machine. I'm going to run the next step. Like I said, it's going to do stitching here, jump the teeth, stitches here, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. The zipper is all tacked down. You can see that it tacked it down. Okay, now we're going to use these other placements to do our fabric. Now you have the choice of doing like fabric on the front, or you can use vinyl. I'm going to use a little of both so I can show you how to use both of them. Okay, so I'm going to use this fabric on the top and I'm going to use vinyl on the bottom, and then your liner I'm using woven fabric. Okay, so we're going to place the liner for this bottom piece and the front at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to the back side of my hoop. You can see that there's this bottom dotted line right here. That stitch line is where I line up my fabric. So you're going to place your fabric the right sides up towards you. So I have all these little bees facing me, and then this is like a flipper style because it's going to do one line and then we're going to flip it. So you go ahead and hold it like this and then you flip it like this. If you do that, then your fabric will be facing the right way when we're all done. So I'm going to line this up along that bottom line, and then I just pull it right over it just a little bit, because what's going to happen is the stitch line is going to go right above it where that line is, and it's going to tack this down. Okay, and then later we will flip it like this and it will be facing the right way. Okay, so go ahead and get that all lined up like that. Okay, and then go ahead and tape it. I just kind of tape the corners like that, just so it doesn't move. Now you're going to have to be aware of this liner fabric. It's just going to be hanging like this. So you're going to have to make sure when you put this back on your hoop that this stays up and out of the way. Okay, and that doesn't move. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Then you can go ahead and turn your hoop back over, have it facing you. Now I'm going to go ahead and use vinyl. So I cut my vinyl. You want a piece of vinyl big enough to go over this bottom placement right here. Now you can, if you have really soft pliable vinyl like Stardust or stuff like that, you can flip that as well. You can go ahead and go like this and then stitch that line and then pull it over like this if you want. But there's not a top stitch or anything, so it might be a little bubbly right there. So what you do is you go ahead and just put the vinyl, make sure you have a straight edge, and just put the vinyl up next to your zipper like that. And then it's gonna go ahead and stitch a line right there, okay? So you do not have to fold over your vinyl. Now, if you are using fabric on the front of this as well, which is perfectly okay, let's just go ahead and take this. This isn't long enough. Let me take this fabric right here because I already have it prepped for a bag. Okay, say I wanted to use this on the front and it's fabric. So the way that you would do that is you would do the flipper style. You would go ahead and place this up here. You would just pull it. This is the line that's going to stitch right here underneath your zipper teeth. So you would just go ahead and line it up. You'd pull it down just a little bit. You would just tape here and here. Now the next stitch line is just going to go ahead and stitch that one line. So that's tacking your liner and the front of your bag down. And then ultimately you would pull it down like this. Okay, so whenever you flip your fabric, you want to have it facing you the right way, and you flip it like this, and then it will come down the correct direction and way. So if you're using fabric, go ahead and do the flipper style like that. If you are using vinyl, you can just go ahead and place it right next to your zipper like this, okay? So I'm going to do that on this part, okay? Now we're going to go over to our machine. We're going to stitch the next step. Make sure your liner stays out of the way when you place it onto your machine. Stitch the next step. It's just going to go ahead and stitch one step. I will come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. It went ahead and did that one line. So now if you are flipping, you would pull your front down, just your front. Your liner should stay up like this. But if you are doing the flip, you would pull your front down and you're going to run the next step, step 4, and it's going to go ahead and stitch right around here. I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. I will show you what it looks like. Okay, you can see that it went ahead and stitched down the sides. Our liner is still up. We're going to go ahead and run step 5. It's going to go ahead and do these honeycombs right here. So I switched my thread to the color I want. I'm going to stitch those. I'll come back and show you. Okay, guys, that's what those first honeycombs look like. Now we're going to go on to step 6. It's just another set of cute detailed honeycombs. So I changed to another color. I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. I'll come back and show you. Okay, that's what those honeycombs look like. Now we're going to move on to step 7. It's just going to do some more honeycombs. So I changed my thread color. I'm going to stitch those. I'll come back. Okay, that's what step 7 looks like. That's where our honeycombs are at. We're going to do step 8, which is going to do some more honeycombs. I'll come back and show you. Okay, it went ahead and stitched more honeycombs. Okay, we're on the last set of honeycombs. This is step 9. I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. I changed my color. I'll come back and show you. Okay, guys, this is what all the honeycomb details look like. They are all stitched. So if you are adding anything else to the front of this bag, like a name, any other stitching, this is when you would do it. You do all your stitching before you pull your liner down. The next step is pulling your liner down. So we're going to go ahead and flip our hoop over, and you can pull this tape up. Okay. And then you pull your liner down. You want to make sure you get past all these stitch lines. Okay. My liner's always too long and it goes over this because I like to have more than not enough. So I'm going to just trim it a little bit so it doesn't get stuck in here when I put it back on my machine. Okay. And then you're just going to go ahead and tape this down. Just get new tape. Okay, I just make sure that it's smooth and flat how you want it. Okay, now that your liner is all done, you're going to go and put this back on your hoop. You're going to go put this back on your machine, and then it's going to go ahead and stitch around right here, and it's going to tack your liner down to your bag. So I'm going to go ahead and run that step. I will come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, guys, this is what our top looks like. This is what our underneath looks like. It went ahead and stitched that down so your liner's tacked down. Now we're going to do this top part right here, and we're going to put the liner part and the top part at the same time, just like we did down here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. We're going to set our liner first. Now, you are just going to set it on this other line right here. Let me see if I can get a marker real quick. So your zipper teeth is right here, so you're going to do the one above it. Let me show you right here. You're going to want to line up along that one right there, okay? And let me figure out my fabric real quick, because we're going to want our fabric to look like this. So I think I need to do this, and then that. Nope. So you go ahead and do this. And then it's going to flip up. Okay, so this is how you're going to do it. So if you're going to have your fabric like this, if you have fabric that has to go a certain way, these are my B's right here. You're going to have it towards me. You're going to put it up like that. You're going to pull down. You're going to put this along the bottom line, that line right there that I marked, like that. Because it's going to go ahead and stitch on that line. Once it stitches on that line, then you flip it up, and you want your bees all facing me the right way, okay? So that's how you're gonna put this fabric down, this liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and go like this. I'm gonna do this side over here. Yeah, right there. Make sure I'm doing it in the right spot. Okay, So that's your liner piece. I'm just taping it down. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this, and we're going to do the same thing right here. Now, if you are using vinyl, all you need to do is take your vinyl and you can set it along the line like that. And it's going to do one line on the next step, tacking this in your liner down. So I'm not going to use vinyl. I'm going to show you how to do the flip style with this so you can do it either way. So on this side, we're going to be flipping as well, but we're going to be flipping up like that. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take, the bees are facing me. You can go ahead and flip them towards you, pull this up like that. Just make sure you're over that line right there, because that's what's going to stitch. And then once it stitches that, we can go ahead and flip it up like that. Okay, now since this is on the outside front of our bag, I'm actually going to use medium weight interfacing on this. I'm going to interface that real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it right here, and we'll stitch the next step, and then we'll flip it up. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. It went ahead and stitched that line right there that I said. You can see the back got stitched as well. Okay, so let's do the back first. I'm going to go ahead and take this tape off. This tape off, okay. And then you can go ahead and flip this up. And then tape it back down, because it's going to secure this next. Just going to tape that. Tape that. You just want to make sure that it's smooth and flat how you want it, and then it's out of the way. Okay, so we have that done, and the bees are going the right way. Okay, now we're going to go up here, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Okay, we're going to go ahead and flip this up. Tape this back down. I'm going to tape the center as well. Okay, so the next step is going to go ahead and stitch like that, putting the top and the liner to the bag. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go stitch that step. I will come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like right here. It's stitched there and it's stitched there, so we are good to go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the front of our back of the bag on the front of our bag. So you're going to want to open your zipper. This is the most important part. Get your zipper open far enough over that you have a hole here that you can flip your bag through, but not so much far over that the foot of your machine can't get by this. It's going to go around these stitch lines several times in closing your bag. You got to make sure that this zipper pulls out of the way. Okay, so you can do anything you want. If you want like a woven fabric on the back, if I wanted this on the back, I would just go ahead. I would actually put interfacing on it so it's thicker. I wouldn't use this as the outside of my bag unless I interface it. Meaning I'd either do like medium weight interfacing, or I like to use fusible fleece. I'm not using this on the back of my bag, so I don't have it prepped, but if you're using fabric, that's what you'd want to do. I'm going to use this vinyl, so I just have it cut. You just want a big enough piece that can go over all of this placement right here, so we're going to go like that. So before we do that, you open your zipper. The other thing you do is you add anything you want to your bag. This is when you add it. If you have labels for your business, this is when you would do it. Say this said your business name right here, and you want it facing you. You go ahead, say this says like, you know, Panda Kisses right here facing me. This is, you'd put it the right way, the way you want to see it, like that. And then you want it on the inside. So you would actually, it goes in like this. So say it's going up and down, Panda Kisses right there. You do it like this, because what it's going to do is it's going to stitch around your bag, and then when this flips over, you want the Panda Kisses facing you, or if you want them this way, they'd write it here. This is what's going to show. Whatever you have face down, it's going to flip like this. That's what's going to show, okay? So that's how you line that up. But I'm not putting that. I'm going to put like a little D clip over here. So I just went ahead and cut some of my vinyl. You can use fold over elastic or ribbon or whatever you want. I'm just going to fold it over. Now remember, everything that you want to stay on your bag needs to be on the inside of your bag because we cut on the outside. And you're going to line up along these lines right here. You could put anything along any of these lines. If you're doing a purse and you want straps up here, you go like this. You put 2 up there. I'm just going to have this clip right here, okay? So I'm going to go just like that, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and tape it down. You need to make sure that your hardware is far enough in that the foot of your machine won't hit it as it's going along this line. It's going to be going along this line. So keep that in mind, that it doesn't hit this hardware. You don't want it to hit this hardware either, okay? So that's all I'm adding to my bag right there is that little clip. Now I'm going to take the back of my bag, I'm going to take the right side, and I'm going to put it on the bag like that. If you have directional fabric, let me do that real quick. You're going to put the bees towards you, so this is facing me. And this is not a flip. Whatever you're doing, it's staying. We're not doing flipper style, so this goes on differently. So you'd have the directional fabric towards you. The bees are facing me. You're going to go this way this time instead of flipping it up like we did. And then you would have it like that. So when the bag's done, they'll be facing the right direction, okay? So if you have directional fabric, that's how you want to place it. I just have vinyl, so it doesn't matter. Okay, you just want to make sure they're over all of your placement lines. So I'm going to go ahead back to my machine and stitch the next step. It's going to go all the way around this bag, sealing this bag shut. Make sure your zipper's open. Okay, I will come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what it looks like right here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the very last step, which is to put our other side of our lining on. Okay, so this is the same as the front. I'm going to use this bee. So you want to face it towards you, the right direction, right side's up, and then you're going to go ahead and flip it like that, and then you will make sure that they are going the right way. You can see you want to make it big enough to go past all your stitch lines, leaving a little bit at the bottom because we will close our hole at the bottom. Okay, and I just barely have enough fabric here. I don't have any more of this fabric either, so this is, I normally don't cut it this close, but it will work. Okay, so then you're going to go ahead and make sure you're over all your stitch lines, leaving a little bit at the bottom because we're going to close our hole down there. You're just going to make sure this is all taped good so it doesn't get flipped up in the next step. Okay, now you're going to go to your machine and you're going to run your very last step, okay? It's going to go ahead and go all the way around the bag like it did here, but it's going to leave a hole, okay? So I'm going to go stitch it. I'll come back and show you. Okay, we are done stitching. There's what the top of your hoop looks like. That's what the bottom of your hoop looks like right there. Okay, and it left a hole right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this off of our hoop. Okay, we're going to go ahead and find our hole, which is right here. And we're going to go ahead and cut up to those stitches. Don't cut any of your stitches, just cut up to them and then cut around your bag. You're going to need some good scissors because you're cutting through zippers and a lot of layers. Okay. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and take your 2 pieces of liner. It's either piece on the side of the hole. I flip it up like this, and then I fold this down just so I can hold it. I'm just holding that liner out of the way because you don't have any stitch lines on this side, and then I turn it because I want to see these stitch lines. That just holds the liner out of the way because you don't want to cut the liner. Now make sure you're not cutting at an angle like this because you're going to end up cutting into here. You want to cut straight across, and you just want to get rid of this extra fabric, and mine's vinyl, but you could have had fabric here. You're just gonna cut straight across. There you go. So I still have my liner. I didn't cut any of it. And I cut straight across and got rid of all of this. Okay, just get all this out of the way. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and flip through this hole. Be kind of gentle. I always just stick my fingers into the corners and gently pull it out. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna want to get your corners out, so whatever you use to get your corners out nice, go ahead and do that. I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want to tear the lining, the woven. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and close this hole. You have a big hole down here. And the reason that you leave a little excess fabric down here is because you kind of sandwich it. I'm gonna go ahead and use this press tape. Let me see if I can find the box for you. This is a press tape that I use. You can also use glue. I like this fabric tack glue, this cleared glue, if you want to use this to close this hole. But I'm going to show you how to use this. I've used both in several of my videos. I always like to try to get it straight again. It always goes sideways, okay? So there's a sticky side, and then there's plastic over this other side. So I put it right over the stitch lines. There's some stitch lines right here. And I don't really want to see the stitch lines on the inside of my bag. So I just go across just like that. And then I push it down really good. Okay. And then I go ahead and fold it in. And I have vinyl, so it's going to be a little harder to fold on that spot. So I'm just forcing it, because vinyl's a little thicker versus just fabric, okay? And then you're going to get it how you want it. I'm going to use these little wonder clips to help me out and keep it in place, just because the vinyl's going to want to flip back over. Okay, so you just get it how you want it. Close to that, okay. All right. Now you're gonna go ahead and start taking off the one side of the top so the sticky is down. Make sure the sticky part is on your fabric right there, and then you just pull this off and you stick it together. Sorry, that's my iron talking. And then I do a little bit at a time. If you pulled this all at once, it's so sticky that it makes a mess. So I'm just pulling a little bit at a time and sticking the other side of my fabric to it and pressing down. Now, if some of your fabric pops out when you pull that last piece, I just use this to stick it back in, and then I press down. And if you have like a little opening like that, like it pressed, you can use glue to just close the little corner part, just so it seals a little better. Okay, and then I just hold that. Since that's glue right there, I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. I'm going to put a little clip on it, just because that was glue and not pressed tape right there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut your thing open. This is cutaway, so you can't tear this. If this is tearaway, just go ahead and pull and it will open. But this is on either side of your zipper teeth. So I'm just taking little scissors, and you just want to make sure that you are just getting the cutaway and not the zipper, and you don't want to cut any of your fabric. Those are the two things you're watching for. Okay, and you're really just gonna cut this out. when you get to this side, a lot of times I just pull. If I get the right angle, I can just pull versus cut. Okay. There you go. We have our cutaway off. I'm going to just cut a couple of these little strands that are just hanging out. Okay, you can see that our zipper is open, and this is probably good. You can see that it went ahead and closed the bottom. It looks good and straight, and you have no issues. Okay, now you're going to turn through this hole. So I'm just going to get my fingers in here and push. Good. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and use your turning tool. Make sure you get this all the way out so it looks nice. If you have a hard time with your vinyl, you can kind of warm it up a little with your iron. You have to have a pressing cloth over it so you don't melt it, but sometimes heating vinyl with a blow dryer or something can make it easy. I've never had it that tough that I've had to do that, but if you're having issues, you can do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna press this down. Over. And we are done with our cute little 2.0 honeycomb bag from Parker on the Porch. This is what mine turned out like. Super cute. This is the front. There's the back. We have our little clip on the side. Our flower zipper. You open it. Here's the inside. You can see that it's all lined. There's no exposed seams. You don't see any of that stitching. Okay, so this is how you make this bag. If you have any questions, let me know, or you can go to the Parker on the Porch group and ask in there. People are really fast about answering in there. And I hope that you understood how to do vinyl or fabric. I tried to show both methods in here by putting this on the top and this on the bottom. You can use all of one, obviously. I just wanted to show you both ways. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every time I upload a tutorial, go ahead and click on the little bell. It will notify you when I put a new tutorial up. Thank you so much. Have a great day.